It is important to follow your dreams and heart. Do something that excites you. I did that myself, from growing up in a small home in India to being the CEO of 2 companies. Hello, I am Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, and I made an impact through technological innovation by leading the creation of Google Chrome, improving Android, and integrating AI into Google. I helped create Google Chrome to make the internet faster and more useful for everyone. It took a while to convince the founders to let us develop it, but we released it in 2008 with a comic book to announce it. I built on Android so people could more easily access powerful tech, like making it cheaper and more available for phone companies. I was the leader and led Google's shift to major AI usage to make our tech and tools more useful in everyday life. But at the heart of everything I do is a simple goal, making the future better for us. Because the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we help create. So I challenge you, stay curious, dream big, and help us build a future that's great for everyone.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be the wife of one of the most important founding fathers? To not just watch history being made, but to be a part of it. Hello, my name is Eliza Schuyler Hamilton, and while I was most known for being the wife of founding father Alexander Hamilton, I also made a very large impact on innovation. I co-founded the Orphan Asylum Society, New York's first private orphanage, while I was still struggling with debt myself. Despite my financial problems, I helped inspire and establish the Hamilton Free School, which costs absolutely nothing to its students, so that all children were granted equal education regardless of age or status. During the French Revolution, I aided French refugees in need, and while I didn't live to see it finished, I helped raise funds for the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. I was an innovator through my beliefs about equal education and philanthropy, and my ways of working around my own problems and establishing these beliefs in my community. My name is Eliza Schuyler Hamilton. So tell me, how will you make history?
Although I cannot move and I have to speak through a computer, in my mind I am free. Hello, my name is Stephen Hawking. I was paralyzed by a disease, so that is why I use this computer to talk by moving an unparalyzed cheek muscle. The disease that paralyzed me is called ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. I was diagnosed at age 21 and was given 2 years to live, but lived until the age of 76. During my life I discovered Hawking radiation, which is when a negative particle and positive particle form close to the edge of a black hole and destroy each other as they fall in. That lets one positive particle escape the black hole and slowly shrinks the black hole. I also made many other discoveries about black holes, which I wrote about in my book called A Brief History of Time, so that anyone, not just scientists, could understand complex scientific topics. I'm Stephen Hawking. While my body was paralyzed, my mind was full of innovation.
When I consider what people generally want in calculating, I find that there's always a number. I'm Musa Al-Khwarizmi, and I made an impact through innovation by making many inventions in mathematics. I wrote Algebra, that organized straight and square equations, created the method for solving problems, and introduced the Arabic Hindu numerals, which we use today in our numbers. I also contributed to astronomy by making astronomical tables, inventing the sundial and astrolabe. The astrolabe is a tool that figures sky measures, and the sundial is used for telling the time. I have made contributions to trigonometry by producing accurate sine and cosine tables and creating the first table of tangents. I made a lot of things in math, astronomy, and made your life easier.
Chase your dreams, not the dreams of others. Hello, my name is Katie Ledecky, and I'm the fastest female swimmer in the world. I'm the most decorated woman in history, which means I've won the most medals in history for a female swimmer. I have broken 16 world records and 32 American records. I've won 9 Olympic gold medals and 21 championship gold medals, the most in history for a female swimmer. In total, I have won 50 medals. I can show that even women can be something huge. I can motivate other female swimmers that they can achieve many things. Some say I've achieved the dreams of thousands of dreams of female swimmers around the globe. I'm widely regarded as being the greatest female swimmer and one of the best Olympians of all time. Set goals that when you set them, they seem impossible to achieve, but then every day work towards them. Work hard and follow your dreams.
Be the best version of yourself in anything you do. You don't have to live anybody else's life. I'm Steph Curry, and I made an impact through innovation by taking more shots from behind the arc, changing how players plan and execute their offense in the modern generation of basketball. I made the three-point shot an important part of basketball, changing how players approach the game. My ability to shoot consistently from almost anywhere on the court has forced coaches to think differently about their offensive and defensive strategies. My basketball skill has motivated younger players to focus on developing their basketball IQ and shooting. This cultural shift has led to generations of players who prioritize skill over traditional post play. I'm proud to have the most three-pointers in the NBA, but I'm not done yet.
You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. I'm a Bengali poet, short story writer, song composer, playwright, essayist, and artist. Hello, I'm Rabindranath Tagore. I've created a poetry structure for Bengali literature known as colloquial language. It is the use of conversational writing in literature. I'm also the first non-European and the first Asian to win the Nobel Prize in literature for my poetry collection. This award is given to an individual or a group that has made a significant contribution towards world peace. I am also a cultural icon in India and a major figure in world literature. I'm Rabindranath Tagore.
Tomorrow I shall betray, not today. Hello, my name is Marianne Cohn, and I made an impact in the world by evacuating Jewish children out of Nazi camps during the Holocaust and writing poetry when I was imprisoned. The Holocaust was a terrible time where millions of innocent people, especially Jews, were hurt or killed because of who they were. I was born in Germany but moved to France to escape Nazi violence, but I was taken to a camp where Jewish people were kept, and after I was released, I settled in Mozak where I worked with Jewish Children's Home. Later, I joined a clandestine network where I worked undercover to evacuate Jewish children from the camps they were in. I avoided capture by using fake names and IDs, but sadly, I was captured on May 31st, 1944, while transporting 28 children. When I was offered a chance to escape, I chose to stay behind to protect the children, famously stating, "I will not risk their lives for mine." My name is Marianne Cohn.
Never, never, never give up. I'm Winston Churchill, and I made an impact through innovation by inspiring the world with my words. From a young age, I loved adventure and speaking my mind. I was a soldier and war reporter, helping people understand the truth about many battles around the world. After becoming Prime Minister in World War II, I used my courage and powerful speeches to lead Great Britain to victory over Nazi Germany. At the end of my life, I continued to serve my country and even won the Nobel Prize in Literature, not for war, but for my words. The world should remember me not just as a leader, but as a voice for freedom and strength. So I'll leave you with this. If you're going through hell, keep going.
I have won in my career and I'm going to win again. Hello, I'm Michaela Schifflin and I made an impact on innovation by inspiring young racers to pursue their dreams. I started racing at age 8 and later trained at Burke Mountain Academy, a prestigious ski school. At age 15, I had already gotten to the Nor-Am Cup circuit, a key part to getting to the World Cup. I got into the World Cup the same year. As one of the best athletes in my sport, I've become a role model for younger and older skiers and athletes worldwide. My sportsmanship may be different from all the other racers. At just 18 years old, I became the youngest slalom gold medalist in Olympic history. I hold the world record for the most World Cup wins ever won with over 100 victories. I had a serious crash on a giant slalom race where something impaled me, causing severe trauma to my muscles. I overcame the pain and returned to action and even won a slalom at the World Cup finals. You can never make the perfect run, but you can make the best run. Then you can clock the fastest time, and that's a win.
I'd rather regret the risks that didn't work out than chance that I didn't take it all. Hi, my name is Simone Biles, and I made an impact through innovation by sparking a global conversation about mental health. I withdrew from the 2020 Olympics from the case of the twisties, which is when a gymnast mind's doing one thing and the body's doing another. I wasn't in the right mindset. I showed the world they should put your mental health first. Many people disagreed and thought I was a quitter. I had to silence all those people when I went to the 2024 Olympics. There, I proved I was not a quitter and that I can rise. I persevered and emerged with gold all around. Remember, put your mental health first. It's more important than any other medal you could win. I'm Simone Biles.
Every scientist dreams of doing something that can save the world. I'm fortunate to see my dream come true. Hello, I'm Tu Yoyo, a researcher in traditional Chinese medicine. I made an impact through innovation by discovering an anti-malaria drug. Malaria is a serious disease caused by a type of parasite and affects millions of people each year. During my time, scientists around the globe were trying to find new cures for it. While others relied solely on modern pharmaceuticals, I tried to find the cure by exploring ancient Chinese medical texts and traditional practices. We conducted many experiments and finally found the cure, artemisinin. Artemisinin is a plant extract made from sweet wormwood. It has saved millions of lives around the world. Artemisinin is a gift from traditional Chinese medicine to the world, and I'm proud to be part of the team to deliver the gift.
Many people have said many things. I can only say I did not consciously go after dance. It found me. Hello, my name is Rukmini Devi Arundel. I made a big impact by helping revive and popularize an ancient Indian dance called Bharatanatyam. This dance used to be performed only in temples, and I helped share it with the world. I also started a famous school for the arts called Kalakshetra in South India, where students still learn dance, music, and more. I also cared deeply for animals and worked to protect them through laws like the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. I believed in using art and compassion to make the world better, and you can too. Whether through dance, kindness, or standing up for what's right, you have the power to make a difference.
Courage is not the absence of fear, but the control of it. I'm Chuck Norris, and I was innovative because I created 2 different types of martial arts, and with them, made more than 30 movies and taught famous people like Elvis Presley's daughter. I got into martial arts when I was in the Air Force in Korea. This is also where I got my first black belt in Tong Soo Do. I used it to create American Tong Soo Do. I taught people this and Chun Kuk Do, another creation I made. I got into acting when one of my students, a famous actor, persuaded me to do so. Also, I am inspiration for many jokes. If you heard that I created the giraffe by roundhouse kicking a donkey, or I wear a hat to protect the sun, that's a Chuck Norris joke. I think you could achieve anything, maybe even more than me. You just have to have some courage.
True music must repeat the thoughts and inspirations of the people in the time. My people are Americans, and my time is today. I'm George Gershwin, and I made an impact through innovation by introducing modern jazz and many more styles of music. I wrote many Broadway songs like Porgy and Bess and George Wright's Scandals of 1920. I also introduced modern jazz and orchestral pieces like Rhapsody in Blue and An American in Paris. These are all examples of how I created my own unique musical voice. Ravel said, "Why become a second-rate Ravel when you can become a first-rate Gershwin?" I made an impact through innovation and introduced many new songs that people still listen to today.
The invention of basketball was not an accident. It was developed to meet a need. I'm James Naismith, and I made an impact through innovation by inventing a sport that could be played inside a gym without breaking windows. At first, I was disheartened about trying to invent an indoor sport. I wrote that I felt I was being imposed on, and that it was the last straw my director told me to accomplish what all the other directors in the country hadn't accomplished. At first, I tried variations of sports, such as football and soccer, but they didn't work. I also tried lacrosse, a sport where players run around a big field using sticks with nets to scoop and shoot a ball into goals, but the good players were disgusted having to play against the bad players. Finally, I based my game on a game from my childhood called Duck on a This game involved throwing at a target, running, and guarding, much like the real sport of basketball today. Although I was at first discouraged about inventing the impossible indoor sport, I persevered, and that sport is called basketball.
Concentrate all your thoughts upon the work at hand. Hi, I'm Alexander Graham Bell, and I made an impact through innovation by creating several devices that significantly improved
education, and communication. My most famous invention was the telephone. This device sped up the process of communication so much that in just 3 years, almost 50,000 people owned one. Most of my family was deaf, which led me to opening a school for deaf children. My father invented Visible Speech, a system for visualizing articulated language, which I adapted and used to teach speech and lip reading to my deaf students. I also invented the metal detector, initially to locate bullet in the assassinated President James Garfield. I've also made many other inventions, most of them equally successful. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success.
The aim and final reason of all music should be none else but the glory of God and refreshing the soul. Where this is not observed, there will be no music, but only devilish hubbub. I'm Johann Sebastian Bach, and I made an impact through innovation in music by modernizing classical music with counterpoint, harmony, and form. I lost my parents at 10, so I found happiness through music, mostly organ. I composed many famous works, such as the Waltz and Clavier, a book of music for the keyboard, my cello suites, and my Brandenburg concertos, concertos for the orchestra, earning me the reputation as a father of music. I'm considered a very prolific composer, meaning I've composed many works for many instruments. I lived in the Baroque era, so I strived for simplicity, clarity, and balance in my works. I am a composer, innovator, and lover of all things Baroque. Centuries may have passed, but my music still lives on, even today.
What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean. I'm Isaac Newton, and I made an impact through innovation by discovering gravity and creating 3 laws of motion. The legend is that I was sitting under an apple tree watching the apples fall, and that I came up with gravity there. Whatever really happened, I realized that there must be some force pulling the apple down. I called that force gravity, and I used math to explain it. This helped everyone learn more about gravity. I also created 3 laws of motion. An object in motion stays in motion. Force equals mass times acceleration, and every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This helped mathematicians and physicists after me. Discovering gravity and creating 3 laws of motion was only a touch of what I accomplished. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess.
Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. Hello, I'm Albert Einstein, and I made an impact through innovation by making revolutionary discoveries in mathematics and science. I created the theory of relativity, which means that space and time can be combined, creating a new type of dimension called space-time. The theory of relativity proves that heavy objects bend space-time. E equals mc squared is a manifestation of the theory of relativity. It means energy equals mass multiplied by the speed of light squared. I also created the photoelectric effect, which proves that light can be made of both waves or particles, or both, which are called wave packets or photons. I was one of the world's most influential scientists, and my work will be remembered as innovative forever.
I can shake off everything as I write. My sorrows disappear and my courage is reborn. I am Anne Frank, and I share lessons about the Holocaust, a horrible time in history where many people, especially Jews, were harmed and even killed by the Nazis, who were in power during World War II. I wrote about my experiences in my diary, which is now called The Diary of a Young Girl. My family and I hid from the Nazis in space behind a bookshelf in my father's office called the Secret Annex. My hope for the future both made me a symbol of resilience and hope. I soon learned to enjoy the little things in life like the sunshine and the sound of birds. After my death, my father published my diary, which reveals the suffering experienced during the Holocaust. I helped the world learn about the horrors of the Holocaust, showed everyone optimism can make everything better, and that everyone has the right to freedom. Where there's hope, there's life. It fills us with fresh courage and makes us strong again.
I was an average kid who had his wimpy moments. I'm Jeff Kinney. I made an impact through innovation by making reluctant readers not only pick up books, but inspire themselves with them. In college, I made the comic Igdoof. This comic made me want to be a cartoonist. However, I was not successful with this comic getting published. A couple years later, I started making ideas for my series, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I worked on it for 6 years and published it online. I then signed a multi-book deal with the publisher to turn Diary of a Wimpy Kid into a print series. My series was an instant bestseller. In the same year, I created the game Pop Tropica, a game where you can visit islands in-game, play games, and solve problems. I'm one of those people who believe that ADD is a gift. It's tough to manage, but if you can harness it, you can do great things.
Today was tomorrow's yesterday, so don't inhale it. I'm Mel Blanc, also known as the Man of a Thousand Voices, and I made an impact through innovation by my unparalleled voice acting skills and my ability to bring countless characters to life. I voiced over 1,000 cartoon characters such as Porky Pig and Bugs Bunny. I was so committed to my work that while hospitalized, I recorded my last episode, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Also, whilst in a full-body cast, I still recorded episodes for the Flintstones. In addition to that, I was the first voice actor to have their name put in the credits of a TV show. This led to many other voice actors to get recognized for the dedication that they put into their work. I hope people feel the same way I did whilst enjoying my work, and I hope everyone feels happiness from my shows and my characters. That's all, folks!
The people of Mexico have once again been given a lesson of democracy and dignity, and once again we are making history. Hola, soy Claudia Sheinbaum, la primera presidente de México. Hi, I'm Claudia Sheinbaum, the first female president of Mexico and the first with Jewish heritage. I was the mayor of Mexico City until I won the election for president. I had the highest vote percentage of any president in Mexico since 2001. Like my parents, I'm an environmental scientist and have a PhD in energy engineering. I have also won the Nobel Peace Prize for my work on governmental response to climate change. As I once said while referring to women who fought for Mexico's independence and progress, I didn't make it alone. We've all made it with our heroines who gave us our homeland, with our mothers, our daughters, and our granddaughters. I am honored to be the first female president of Mexico. I do this work for my people, the people of Mexico. Viva Mexico!
It's fascinating how humans can wrap their mind around things and fit into their own version of reality. Hi, I'm Mick Gladden, and I made an impact through books by inspiring authors and people through mythological writing style. I started my writing career writing Greek mythology books and inspired people and authors all over the globe. Because of this, I decided to team up with the book publishing unit Disney Hyperion to create Mick Gladden Presents, a unit that helped publish mythology books everywhere. Another group of people helped inspire was teenagers. Typical teenager is stuck between two words and has challenges to overcome. They're not really a kid or not really a doll. This is similar to Greek heroes, aka demigods, which are people that are half god, half human.
The least I can do is speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. I am Jane Goodall. I made an impact through innovation by showing the world that chimpanzees are not as simple-minded as we previously thought. One of my biggest discoveries was that chimpanzees can make and use tools, as it was previously thought that humans were the only ones capable of this action. Another discovery is that chimpanzees are omnivores, a human or animal that eats plants and meat, and not herbivores, a human or animal that only eats plants, as we used to think. One last discovery is that chimpanzees have complex social behaviors and personalities. Overall, chimpanzees are much more like humans than we had ever thought. I'm Jane Goodall, and I made an impact by showing the world what chimpanzees are really like.
You have to fight to reach your dreams. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. Hi, my name is Lionel Messi, and I made an impact through innovation by inspiring many kids to help others and to continue their dreams. I am not only a World Cup champion, but I'm also an 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, a award dedicated to the best soccer player every year. I'm also a UNICEF ambassador. A UNICEF ambassador supports UNICEF's work to fulfill the rights of every child. This act caused many people to see that even the best soccer players care more about kindness than soccer itself. I was born in the town of Rosario, Argentina, where I learned soccer by playing on the streets. I was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency at a young age, causing me not to grow up like a normal kid. Despite this, and not having traditional coaching, I loved playing soccer and started to get noticed. I followed my dream and realized that it is important to work hard, but when kindness and compassion are part of your hard work, you can inspire others and leave a lasting impact on your fans.
Success to peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you made the best effort to be the best you are capable of. I'm John Wooden, and I made an impact through innovation by creating the Pyramid of Success. I played college basketball at the University of Purdue and later went on to coach the UCLA Bruins, or the University of California, Los Angeles. I coached there for 12 years, winning 10 national championships, which no franchise ever gotten even close to. I created the famous document, The Pyramid of Success, which highlighted different elements leading up to competitive greatness. By following my philosophy, I could help other coaches and players change the world with me. Discipline yourself, and others won't need to. Thank you.
I have heard articulate speech produced by sunlight. I've heard a ray of sun laugh and cry and sing. I'm Margaret Hughes, and I made an impact in innovation through theater by being the first professional female actress. I was alive during the Renaissance, a period of European history where people made new innovations in math, science, and more. During this time, only men were allowed to act, but I decided to be in theater anyway. I acted as Desdemona in the play Othello by Shakespeare. After this, King Charles II, a king in England who loved to see plays, proclaimed that women should be the ones to act as female roles. After this, almost every play had at least one woman actress. I am an inspiration for people, not only women and not only in theater, but to anyone who's told not to do something just because of their gender.